Hi, Pat. How are you?
Hi, Sandy. I'm so happy that I have an opportunity to talk with you today.
Yeah, thank you for making time. I know this is can be a very busy season for you. Um, I know it's a high production time. Am I right?
You are. I feel like the coffee industry is always booming. We are always busy.
That's awesome. It's a little quiet for me. It's in between um, semesters. I work for the Statler Hotel, which is affiliated with Cornell in
Mhm.
Ithaca. So what's great is that in July and August we get a little bit of a downtime. But being the director in the food and beverage division, it's I don't get time off like the students do, but
Right.
take a little bit of the quiet time I can to get things like this done. So again, I really appreciate your time.
No, I definitely appreciate it. We both have busy work schedules, and I'm so happy to have this opportunity.
This is great. Yeah, we did some taste testing recently of your I think it was your basic
Colombian,
yeah, the Colombian blend.
right?
And the feedback that we got, um, everyone said it was superior to the other test coffee they had, varying degree. Some said it was absolutely amazing, but either way, it was enough for me to take a look at your bid very seriously because we at Statler we take our clients seriously. We want every part of their experience to be above and beyond. And coffee is a big one. It's a part of American culture. It's a part of a lot of different cultures. But we have an international clientele that come in. They all want coffee. Some want tea. They all want coffee.
I completely understand. That's why we're in this business, and we take our product very seriously. We have a fair trade policy, and that means that we charge a certain amount because we pay for, a fair amount. We want to make sure that the independent farmers have a living wage, not just what other companies do. And we invest in extensive research and development for this coffee, for this bean. We want it to be superior to others. And, I'm glad that your taste test kind of showed that.
Yeah, we have our current distributor. They offer a very good quality product. It's very consistent. Meets the current needs. But after that taste test, we knew that we had to entertain you know a higher quality product. And you mentioned fair trade. Some of our stakeholders took that very seriously. It's not just a buzzword anymore.
Mhm.
It's very much a part of our culture now at Statler as well as Cornell. And we want every step of the supply chain to we want to know about it. We want to know how ethical is it. And you mentioned also too, as I'm very impressed. I did a little research. I saw that your production process, how you roast, how you process, and how you store, where you source your beans, it's all top notch. So
And how we brew them.
yes, exactly. And that's another thing too. It's one thing that's something that doesn't always transfer over. A few years back, my previous colleagues, I'm fairly new to my role, I've only been 6 months, but my director, gave me some insight to previous contracts. And there's some coffees that are great if you brew at home, your smaller brewers or your French press, but it doesn't translate well to bulk brewing.
Yes.
That was, I think, what surprised us so much is that your coffee, when we brewed it in the bulk form where we would do it normally for, especially in one of our three dining establishments, um, it was amazing. And even the sample packs, the little individual packs that we have in
Mhm.
the room, those tasted great too. And now I don't know any other brand where the little instant packets taste good.
I mean,
So
that's what we strive for. That's what we want. That's exactly, it's so great to hear such great feedback and positive feedback because we put so much time and effort into the process, making sure that we produce a superior quality product, you know, opposed to other people in the industry. It's something that we really pride ourselves on. So thank you
no
for
problem.
acknowledging that.
And I know that it can be difficult as a business to have such high standards and to also offer, a, a fair price cost. I know that you're not going to offer the same price that we pay for our current company. That I know. I originally heard of you from a colleague of mine that is affiliated with Colonial Williamsburg.
Mm-hmm.
At an amazing price. However, they do order about 10 times the amount that we need.
We do have these larger clients that their minimum order is quite extensive in comparison to the 10,000 pounds annually that you guys are looking to hit. So we can offer them certain discounts in different areas. One thing that I was hoping we could talk about today is the shipping price as well, because that would have an overall effect on the current bid price that we have now.
Okay.
And I noticed that you guys are interested in having a weekly delivery, but having a bi-weekly delivery would be acceptable as well. How do you feel about that? Doing a weekly delivery versus bi-weekly?
Well, there was two reasons we wanted it weekly. We were looking at our stockroom space. It came down to, how much could we store like on a 2-week basis versus a 1-week basis.
Mm-hmm.
I also looked into our current distributor to see if they would be able to carry your product. It's a possibility. However, I would much rather have this be a one-stop shop kind of negotiation. And, I'd rather just see like what can be done, especially through your trusted distributors and trusted resources. I would maybe consider having our current distributor carry it if necessary. However, I think that after I physically reviewed the space in the stockroom area and spoke to our head chef and administrative directors, they agreed that we could carry 2 weeks at a time.
Well, that's positive news.
Yeah,
that would definitely help as far as costs go. One of the reasons why we put our bid price the way that we did is that it is inclusive of the 80 cents per pound delivery cost. And 80 cents does seem on the high side, but currently you would be our primary client in that district. Now, this could change with the hopes that, we can make an agreement today. If there is marketing on your side, if you guys would be interested in marketing our product a little bit for us, that would allow us to gain more clients in the area and therefore lower your shipping costs, which again would lower the overall price of the product. And so it may not be within this contract, but if we choose to, agree to this and then move forward, more clients in the area, that means we could have a reduced cost for you in the end, which would be beneficial for both of us.
Yeah, I know the 10,000 pounds is really based on our current supplier.
Yeah.
So I'm foreseeing that bringing on your coffee, that there's going to be a peaked interest. Mm-hmm. And it's going to extend beyond Statler and onto more of the campus and more of the coffee shops in the area. And as you know, these students, they live on coffee.
Right.
They're willing to pay. They're willing to pay for a good coffee. So, I could speculate, but I can definitely see this amount growing. Just to confirm, the 794 pound you had proposed is including that 80 cents distributor charge?
Yes, that is inclusive of the shipping costs.
Okay.
That's what that's the kind of point that I'm getting at. If we can find a way to reduce shipping costs, then it will have effect on the current bid price and we'll be able to lower it for you. And that would be beneficial. Obviously, on a marketing standpoint for us, client acquisition that could come from this. And then also it's going to give you a lower costing product with the same high superior standards that we have. So I think it could be a win-win situation for both of us.
I see us working something out, definitely. And I think you also know that what I have to negotiate is a bit of it's out of my control too. Dealing with, certain pre-established budgets, there, of course, is always some flexibility, especially when it comes to marketing. I was looking into that. In terms of marketing, you had, what are some things that you're thinking that could be done now in lieu of, I know there might be additions to a future contract, but what were you thinking you would want to like, maybe adjust the bid or add to the bid in terms of, like,
Well,
what were you thinking?
I think there's a couple things that we can definitely negotiate as far as the current contract bid that we have now. I'm willing to take a look at the bid price with you and see if we can come up with something that works well for both of us. That's definitely on the table to talk about. Um, Obviously, we've addressed kind of shipping and quantity. With the 10,000 pounds, one thing that is vital to this and to us as far as making a profit is that I would really like if we could have the 10,000 pounds as a moderate order, make it official at that. So nothing less.
Okay.
And that's something that we'd really need to do in order to make this valuable for us as well.
We can honor that.
Yeah,
We can
perfect.
that definitely. Yeah, because you know that the annual quantity of 10,000 has been it's pretty much an average
Mhm.
of the last 5 years, and it has not within the last 2 to 2.5, 3. It's been at the 10,000 or above. So there's been an increase in coffee drinkers. So that works to
I
our
understand when it's that good.
no problem. It's no problem there. Um, so, you know, I was discussing with my own boss about, you know, in terms of marketing. I I don't know if this is something you have produced or something you'd want to work with us on producing, but I'm thinking of having clear advertising in the rooms.
Mhm.
You know, could be, you know, durable, you know, it's card stock type displays with the coffee that, you know, where they can be disposed of as needed in terms of, you know, for cleanliness, where
Mhm.
like a plastic would have to be clean, something, but still something that is, it, it highlights, you know, what, it's not, your advertising would not just be on the packet. I'm thinking also too, something in our menus in the
Mhm.
cafes, your a bit of your story clearly defined at the counters. If it's, you know, more of our um, cafe style locations, things like that. Is that kind of what you were thinking in terms of?
Yeah, I think, you know, that kind of branding is great for us. It's great for our publicity. It sends a good message. I think the fact that we do have a fair trade policy is something that not only you and your executives are interested in, but I think it sends a good message in general for your company that this is who you guys work with. And I'd really love that to be a point of marketing. And I think any form, we do offer certain, uh, what are they called? Um, we offer certain,
I know.
I know it's one of those days, it's been one of those days, consultations. And perhaps that we could do that in a larger setting with some of your students. Perhaps we can train them because I know these are people who are going to be going off into the working world soon enough. And if we can make, you know, some sort of establishment with them now, they may consider us in the future. So having these kind of consultations, these little teachings with them, they'll have a better idea of our product and why it's so good and why they should probably continue to work with us in the future as well.
Oh, that goes above you. That goes above and beyond, and that shows how you have a very boutique approach to your product. That I think that would for our customer and student population, that would be of interest, definitely.
I think we could definitely work something out like that. I think that would be beneficial to, you know, their perspective on the industry, not just on a broad aspect, but working with individual vendors as well. I think it could be educational for them. And also it would be great for our future publicity and, you know, long-term strategy is something that I'm sure we both are familiar with. And yeah, I think it could be great as far as client acquisition in the future.
Agreed. Now, before we start talking prices, I just want to review some of the contract elements just to make sure that everything is clear. So there would be no issues with providing the all the
Equipment?
equipment and maintenance. Anything, of course, there's that in terms of any of the parts, that would be us for any of the items that we own. Um, the termination time frame, we feel 60 days is fair. Do you feel that's from your legal? I'm sure your legal department gave you feedback. I think that is pretty standard in the industry.
Yeah, I have no problem with the termination thing. I did want to mention one point, though, as far as maintenance and repairs.
Okay.
Would you be willing to have some leeway in the sense that we offer so many repairs, and when you guys go over a certain amount, in order for us to kind of control the frequency, how many times we're going out there, how many times we're fixing things, that once it reaches a certain amount of maintenance, you would be willing to take a look at it as well and contribute financially to fixing something?
Sure. I think so too. We can even look at if it reaches a certain amount just to replace the pot, and maybe we could work out where we each pay a percentage towards that, where it would be in the long run cheaper than having like repair after repair after repair.
Yes, exactly. Trying to find some sort of middle ground as far as what we think is appropriate as far as equipment, replacement, maintenance, upkeep. Obviously, I'm completely comfortable with offering a certain amount of free repairs because, we value your business and this relationship. But I think we would need to come to an agreement on how many repairs would be the point that you would want to contribute.
I'm thinking 3.
3 repairs?
Yeah.
Because, I really want this to work out. I'm happy to raise that to 5.
Okay. And I think also too, we can write the details down about, and this is something we could always sit with my director and also the director of purchasing as well, in terms of what parts we want to keep on hand and things. But I think that a maximum of 5. We can even take a look at 3 to see like what kind of things are going wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think we'd also be willing to buy some extra machines to keep on site to avoid any delay in service.
I think that's a great point.
So I think that is definitely, I agree with having a maximum, because I think then we start, we start hemorrhaging money at that point.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be lucrative on either one of our part. And also, you'd have to be sending people out, and that's not good for either of us. So, all right. In terms of numbers.
Yes, our favorite point of discussion.
So I calculated, some ranges to see where we could expand above what we are currently paying, taking into account all that you're honoring in the bid, and all that you're offering above that as well, to create like a whole new coffee culture for us, and how that's going to it's going to help us in other ways. I recognize that it can infuse into other areas. So I'm looking to propose the price of $7.25 a pound.
So $7.25 a pound would be on the lower side for us. That would be the lowest thing for us. Would you be willing to raise it to $7.40? That would be more in our favor, with also the option of trying to find a way to reduce your shipping costs.
I think $7.40 would actually be it would be workable for us, and it would be a generous offer. That would be good. That would be great.
That would be great.
Yes.
That way I feel, it's a happy medium. I understand you're paying significantly less for the product that you have now. We do offer, like you said, a coffee culture that you can really use to your advantage. And I know that 794 was probably at the highest point, and if not, you wouldn't have met with me to discuss this. But I think 740 would probably be a reasonable halfway point.
It's very generous. I've also met with the director of our supply chain to explain why I'm even entertaining a coffee that's much more than what we're paying, and that he got a better picture of what my vision was, and so he's very on board to to be a part. He was agreeing with the negotiations too, because from his perspective, he's looking at the numbers, and he's looking at we're stocking a coffee, that's it, and so he appreciated that all of the things that you're offering above and beyond. So I want to share that with you so that that it's not just me that's on board. There's key people within my organization that
of course, yeah,
they're going to this agreement is going to be binding. Like, I'm the last person, and I'm making the final decision. So
yeah, I'm the same way. Obviously, as a vice president, I get to settle this now, and I'm super excited to be working with you and your company. We're ecstatic about the potential publicity that we're going to get from you guys. We're so happy to have you on board, as long as we can reach to that 740 and make this work. I'm excited.
This is great. What I can do today, since it's still somewhat early, I can have this put into formalize this into a contract and have this sent over for you to review. Okay. And of course, you can send any of your documents over my way. And hopefully, what we can also do is get all that stuff signed. And I'm thinking, we can discuss what other who other some key people you want to meet. I'm thinking we can maybe have a marketing discussion as well. You can meet my director, some other key people that in terms of getting this going and set up and get that coffee culture going, especially in time for September when the full-time students return. So it's a really nice way for them to come back and go, oh wow, look at this. So I
think that's perfect. I would love to organize a meeting with the marketing team. I'd love for you guys to also meet our president, kind of, really enjoy each other's, business with each other. And I think that's a great way to do it. But yeah, I will also send over some things, and I will review the document that you send, and we can kind of fine tune anything as far as wording goes and make sure that we're both in agreement. But I am definitely happy to offer the 740, and I look forward to working with you and having a great relationship with you guys.
I look forward to it. This is going to be great. Thank you. And I'll be in touch by the end of the day.
Perfect. Thank you so much for meeting me, Sandy. I've, enjoyed this thoroughly, and I'm very excited about this.
Same here. Take care, Pat. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Okay.